My name is Luke. I'm a very happy and grateful food addict, and I'll try to share my experience, strength, and hope, focusing more on the strength and the hope than the experience, which is quite boring at the end of the day. Using life is not a nice life. This was my typical day when I was using. I would wake up. And apologies for whoever told or heard my story so many times before. I used to wake up around 7 and start myself a day, go to work and starve. And then on my way back from work, I've been investing in banking all my life. I would stop to any kind of supermarkets. I lived in London most of this time. And at the time, there was Safeway. Some of you remember the waitresses, whatever, and steal vast amount of food. Not because I didn't have the money, because stealing was part of my compulsive behavior. I couldn't just buy my stuff and then go home and eat. I had to steal. It was all part of the compulsive behavior. I would go back home, close the door, and switch off the telephone, draw the curtains, and I would start binging. My binges could last from say 8:30 until sometimes 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I would eat a bit and then and rest and then eat a bit and then until I was really, really so full that I could finally throw up. And then there was the throwing up process would last another couple of hours. It was excruciating. I remember I used to travel all around the world and I used to carry it with me, this long TV cable about 1 meter long, which I was sticking to my throat in order to even facilitate my throwing up process. Sorry, I'm very graphic, but that's the way it was. In those years, I had no life apart from work and my food and obsession with money. And no fun. I had shut off with my family, friends, love not even mentioned, personal relationship, forget about it. It was sad. It was sad. In those years, I had tried also many things: dietitian, doctors, psychologists, priory hospitals, other rehabs. Nothing really worked until one day I was at the priory actually hospital in a kind of rehab kind of environment, and somebody, it was December 2000. Um, it was December, really Christmas 2000, gave me a little piece of paper, and the piece of paper was the Serenity Prayer, which I read and really hit my heart. And for somebody who had completely shut this feeling down for more than a decade or 15 years, this thing really, I remember feeling something. I came out from that rehab. It was the beginning of January. On the 7th of January 2001, I came to my first meeting of OA, which was the Chelsea and Westminster Hospital downstairs in a lower ground room. I get in, and there are probably 90 people. 99.9% of the people were girls, all pretty girls, pretty Chelsea rich girls. I wasn't pretty, I wasn't Chelsea, I wasn't girl, but I knew I belonged. Immediately, I knew. I said to myself, I despise everybody, but I know that I'm home. I still thought I was a bit special and different. So for the first 6 months I attended, I still was going out from the meeting and immediately going to the next supermarket, steal again food, go back home and binge and throw up. But I kept coming back every week. On Sunday, 11 o'clock, I would come back to that meeting. And on the 31st of July of that same year, 2001, and it's going to be 24 years in 2 weeks, I opened my eyes and I listened really to what these people were saying. And I realized that whereas me, the super God, the one who knows best and gonna sort myself out, blah, 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 was about to die physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Those people around me were really getting better, but not only physically, especially emotionally and spiritually. I mean, I could see life in their eyes. So I said, okay, I'm going to give it a go. It was a bit late because I came up with the meeting, it was 12 or something, but I'm going to have a quick breakfast, whatever, and then a late lunch, whatever, and then I'm going to have my little dinner, and that's it. I'm going to try not to do that, anything else. So I did. I like to remember my first days of abstinence. It was so ridiculous. I would feel, I would be in total relapse today. I had my breakfast was strawberry. I was extremely anorexic. At lunch, I got two green peas, and at dinner, I had three carrots. That was been my first days of abstinence for the first few weeks and months. But I had set up rules. I would do 3 meals a day, nothing in between, one day at a time. I will not go on a scale, which I would go at that time. I could have gone from 50 to 100 times a day on a scale, and I will not throw up, and I will not compulsively exercise, and I will not steal. And that's what I did, day in, day out. I remember the first days were not easy. When all you think and obsess is about food, and you cannot use on food. So I did the only thing that was suggested to me. So I woke up and I prayed. I had before my breakfast, I was praying, and during my breakfast, I would pray. I would pray after, and after my breakfast until lunchtime. I would pray before, during, and after lunchtime, and then I would pray from lunch to dinner, and before, during, and after dinner, and before I fall asleep, I prayed. It was the only thing I could do. In the meantime, I was also going to an NA meeting always on that Sunday, which was focusing on steps 3 and 11, which at the time, fellows, I didn't even know exactly what they were talking about. What were these 3 and 11, and why they were so important? And then lately I discovered that these were really the spiritual steps. It's where you build your relationship with your higher power. If today I think about the biggest and strongest tool I've got and I use from the Hurma is really God. And God is paramount. The Serenity Prayer has got all the answers for me. Whenever I don't know, I just stop and say the Serenity Prayer, and I'll find the answer. And if there is no answer, it means that I have to wait, which is also an answer. Anyway, those were the few first days were quite challenging, as I said, and time was a big issue because I had to fill the time between these very ridiculous meals I was doing. Slowly, I had to, life started to get in between those meals. I was trying to enjoy really work, enjoy, recuperate my relationship with my family, my friends. Lately, in my recovery, I got into love. I would like to talk about my 4 priorities today. The first is health, which to me is, of course, health is physical, emotional, and spiritual health. As long as I keep abstinence, all my physical issues have been sorted in time. And spiritual and emotional, that's my relationship with God. So health, family, and slowly, as I said, I had to recoup all my family relationship. I come from a family of all normal people, even our dogs, uh, mostly normal people, and but through their love, understanding, and support and patience, they could really bear with me and accept me for what I was doing and what I became. And the third priority is, so I say, health, family, friends, which also have been as patient as my family to bear with me during my using time. Once again, I come from a background of mostly all normal friends. I mean, Italian, they manage to drink sensibly, eat sensibly, do things sensibly. I don't do these things sensibly. So that was quite a miracle. And the last, fourth priority is love. Now, love, it's all what this program is for me. To me, it's God and love and happiness go all together. And I discovered love, physical love, a relationship, only in year 7 of my abstinence. And I was straight before, a long story. That's one of the reasons why I got probably into compulsive in starving myself, whatever. So I have to discover myself gay. And at year 7 of my abstinence, I met my boyfriend today, still today, after how many years? I don't know, 14, whatever. And Andrew came into my life, and that was exponential love. Because yes, I had to learn to love myself once again. I had to learn and give love to my family, my friends. But when it came to the relationship, that is exponential recovery for me. I wake up in the morning and being able to think about something that is not about myself, but my love, my dog, family, friends, whatever else. It's just a joy. It's just unthinkable for me. And I as I say, to me, this is a program of love, happiness, and God leads it all. Whatever I don't know, I stop. I put, they say this. It says something in the big book. Whenever you don't know, whenever agitated, I pause. I pause and I ask. and the answer will come. Talking about how I do the program, I've been blessed with the same sponsor for 24 years. He's got a gazillion days of recovery himself. He's been a beacon in my life. Today we got a very, very friendly and open relationship. I mean, he helps me as much as I help him. The other day he said, "Luca, can I do my step 5 with you? I got an old step 5 to do." So he shared my step 5. He shares his step 5 with me, and it's just a joy. In the same way, I've got a very strong relation with my sponsees, which stuck to me for quite some time as well. And it's these sponsorship is amazing because it's not about who is, oh, you got 3 days, I got 3 years, and whatever. We're all equal. We're all day one. We're all newcomers here. We all could fuck it up now if I decide to have it my way. So it's really a give and take. And most of the time, I think that I'm taking a lot more than what I'm giving, which is ridiculous. And it's such a joy to be a service. If every day I do my little step 10 in the evening, which I do on a mental basis, and I do it in the big book way. There's a passage that says, "When we retire at night, we review our day, blah blah blah." So I go through the motions, and I see the things that have gone wrong, the things that have gone well. But the funny thing, there's two things about my little inventory in the evening, that there's always something we could improve on. It says, what could we have done better? I'm telling you, there's always something there that I could have done better. And the second thing is about, I realized that if in the day I've done many, many nice things for myself in terms of work or whatever, it's going to be that little tiny thing that I've done with somebody else, which will make me happier, which could be smiling to somebody across the road, helping somebody crossing the road, or even making that telephone call that you never do, or just a thought. I mean, of a kind thought towards somebody. It's going to be that little tiny thing that really make my day. Um, I. I'm mostly done, to be honest. In this day, I'm very shy. I speak very little. I've spoken so much in the past. I like to listen. I don't like to be the center of the thing, so I can't wait for this to be over. But what I like to do is to tell you, some of you may heard it, one of my best quotes, and which is a quote from a French philosopher called Voltaire of the 17th century. And Voltaire used to say,
That's your
that's my
13 minutes.
Perfect. Thank you. Voltaire used to say, I decided to be happy. It's good for my health. And this is what I do because life is about choices. I can decide whether to sit on my pity pot and keep using all my life, or take action, pray, ask for help, and turn it around. And that's what I do, not days. I mean, you can imagine, I mean, almost 24 years of recovery. Not every day has been the day of roses. People have died throughout these years. I've lost things, and physically, whatever, But I kept doing. I kept sticking to the program. I kept praying, and it worked, And it's me to. I can, if something very sad or very enormous happens to my life, I can decide to sit and pity myself for a week, or to say, okay, I'm going to really feel the feeling, share it with somebody, and try to move on. So we had all in the using times is a very sad time. It's an horrendous time. We had all a lot of that. Now I'm here to make it better and to try to be of service, because every time I sit in the pity pot, it's me that is time that I cannot give to do service or to help somebody else. And I like to quote the page 164 of the big book, trudging the road of happy destiny. This is what the program is: trudging you with the ups and downs of the road, together, all together we're stronger, together we recover, the road of happy destiny. This is what God is: a God of love, and He wants us to be happy, not to sit on the pity pot and not be on service to each other. So on this note, I the amount of love that I feel for this room is just unbelievable. And I wish you all the joy, all the happiness, and just a very blessed day. With God, we've got nothing to fear. Thanks.